guys, I got my coffee for this one. We are diving right in, and it is fears of being a stay-at-home mom and wife. Now, just saying that title, it sounds already silly to me, because typically when you hear someone talk about being a stay-at-home mom, it is like a really, really positive thing. My story is slightly different, which I'll share, but I wanted to talk about this because it's just not talked about a lot. I don't know very many, I don't even know if I know one, stay-at-home mom who has talked to me about not really wanting to stay at home. And so, I hope if you're watching this video that you might be in the same boat, or you may have some of these feelings that not many other ladies have talked about or that you've heard, and I just hope to give you some clarity and encouragement in it. I'm going to be talking about fears, but I'm also going to be talking about solutions to those. So, stick with me through this whole video. Back to my story, I basically just worked part-time before stepping into this role, and y'all, this is my first week as a full-time stay-at-home mom, and so it's the very beginning, but it's where the fear is most heightened, right? Because you don't know what you're about to step into. There's about to be change. There's all of this, and that's why I wanted to record this video. The drive to what I did before was just too long for my daughter to stay in the car, and so me and my husband decided that staying home would be the best decision. Now, people say, why don't you just work somewhere close to where you live? And that is a good point. But honestly, I have looked online for jobs and I just don't feel peace about it. I really don't. And I pray that God would guide me and help just lead me where He would want me. And so for me, if I do not feel peace in a decision, then that means God's telling me no, not right now. So I do feel confident that I am where I'm supposed to be, but that doesn't mean that there aren't fears in it, or there's certain things that I'm not really excited about, but I'm fully trusting God to help grow me, teach me, and mold me into whatever He wants to teach me in this time of me just staying at home. So we'll get right into the fears. I have 4 fears, but then also 4 solutions that I've already thought about to help combat some of these fears. The first one, and probably the biggest one, is not being around people. I am a social butterfly. If you know me, or if you get to know me, I might be a little quiet at first, but once you get to know me, like, people just light me up. People give me so much energy, and it's especially ladies. If I can get in a group of ladies and we can talk about the Lord and just connect and all of that, like, that is my jam. And I did hair before, and honestly, like, it was perfect because I got to make money doing it, but I also just got to talk with the ladies in my chair, listen to their story, and encourage them. So it was a type of ministry for me, which is like my heart behind everything, is I want to be in ministry with ladies and encouraging ladies in their walk with the Lord, which this YouTube is part of it. So is my Instagram. That's an outlet for me. But to not get distracted, my biggest fear is that I don't get to be around those people now every week. I'm going to be at home instead. Now, kind of with that, my second fear is not getting a break from my daughter. Now, I do have a video over, I think it's like realities of being a mom, or the biggest struggle being a mom. I'll put that up here, and you can listen to that to see if you can relate to that. And I just want to say, it is a blessing to be home with my daughter, and it is a blessing to be with her. But every mom has their different needs, and every mom really truly needs a break. And I enjoy my time without her. That sounds so bad. I would never change anything about having a daughter. All I'm trying to say is those 2 days that I had just to know she was loved and cared for by family, and then I could go do my thing, I loved it. Like, I had no stress about her because I knew she was well and taken care of. And those days just kind of felt like days that really pumped me up and filled me up, and just was so uplifting for me, being able to socialize with people, but then also just to be able to get out. My fear with staying home is that I'm going to feel like I don't get any break, that I am constantly in the role of being a mom, and then also, you know, taking care of the house and everything like that. My third fear is being home all day. I don't know if you experienced this during COVID, And I definitely feel like it changed me a little. But the more I'm in my house, the less I want to leave, the less I want to go talk to people, the less I want to invite people over. And it's weird because I love all of those things. But when you seclude yourself, you do find a sense of comfort in that because you're not having to engage in conversations. You're not having to engage with the outside world. You're not having to overcome really any like things that would involve going and talking and seeing and being with other people. And so I do have the fear that the more I stay at home, the more I'm just kind of like gonna be to myself and not be the Chelsea that is always bubbly and outgoing and loves people and stuff like that. Lastly, my fourth fear is just not being content as, in other words, basically a homemaker. I have never loved doing chores. I've just never loved it, and that's okay because God has grown me in that and will continue to grow me in that. But I get fearful that with me being home full time, before me and my husband, we split responsibilities somewhat. I still did most of them because, I mean, he basically made all the money for our family and he worked way more hours than I did. But now that I am fully home, like I'm just fully home, like I know that Chelsea, like your responsibilities should fully be everything in the home. And with that, because I know my sinful tendencies is to hate cleaning and chores and all of that by myself, I get fearful that I'm going to become bitter, just bitter that like my role is to always be cleaning, my role is always to be changing diapers, my role is to always be climbed on and hair pulled and laundry and all of those things, errands, like all of the other things are going to be put on me, and I get worried that I'll get bitter over that. Really just like the fear of feeling like a maid. Now I know that sounds silly, but like I said, I have solutions to all of these, just being raw and honest with what I am fearful of staying at home. Technically I have a fifth fear, so let me just throw this in there, but it's not being able to achieve. And so at the beauty shop, I could see like instant results from when I started to finished someone, because you would see their before and after, and I loved that. And I love looking at photos of the work that I did. Like it just has a sense of achievement and something that was fun and that I conquered, or if it was a harder hair color or haircut and just seeing how I handled that, or seeing where I didn't handle it well and then could improve on. And even before when I worked in a church, like you just had these little hurdles you got to overcome and achieve, and that was really nice. And I won't have that same sense of achievement in the home. Well, you can, it's not the same. I'm gonna have another bite of my cookie. Now, this is so rude, I'm chewing on camera again. Now that I've shared with y'all all of my fears, you know me real well now, let me share some solutions. And if you have felt this way, something that may help you, or if you're just like, man, Chelsea, you're so negative. Well, just wait. I got positive coming. I'm really a positive person. But that doesn't mean I don't have fears about things. Okay, so my first fear was not being around people. And so my solution for that is, now that I'm home, I should be able to start going to my women's Bible study at my church, and that's one of the first things I'm going to look getting plugged into. I believe they have where they can watch kids, and so I'll be going to that and plugging in with ladies there. And then I'm just going to be inviting people into my home. I have always wanted to invite people over, and it's stupid, but I let the fear of living in an apartment or in a trailer or in a duplex stop me from inviting people over because I felt like it wasn't good enough, which is so silly. But anyways, that stopped me before, and really I think I used that as like a cover for what I really was feeling inside or other big fears. But now I'm like, no, Chelsea, you actually have your own home. You can do with it whatever you want to, and it is like my dream plan, like open concept. So you can have as many people as you want over and all be hanging out in the main area like you've always wanted. And with that, I'm just letting my fears go of other people's opinions and what they might think of me, and like I'm just gonna invite them. Like if they don't want to come over, they can say no. If they're like, I just met this girl and she's inviting me over to her home, they don't have to come. If they're like, I already have like 10 friends and I can't even keep up with going and seeing them, they don't have to come. I'm not going to focus on all the what ifs of the people or how they may perceive me. I am just going to open my home and pray that the Lord would allow people to come in that just need to be loved on and encouraged in Christ. Okay, the second fear is that I just wouldn't get a break from my daughter or have some me time. Well, I'm a planner girl. I don't think my planner is in here, but I am going to schedule that in my planner. Probably a few times a month. I'm going to be like very specific, being like, okay, this week I need to go out to lunch with a friend or coffee and ask my husband to watch Rosie. But I am also going to communicate with my husband if I feel like I need more. So if it's been a harder week with Rosie and I'm just feeling like I really need to get out, well then I'll communicate that with my husband and we'll figure something out. I'm just going to be open to that. I'm going to schedule what I need, but also know things may change. I may need more days. I may not need more days, but it's going to be there because I know I also need to take care of myself and my mental health to be the best mom I can for Rosie. Okay, the third fear of just being home all day and everything that came with that. My solution for that is also scheduling. It doesn't have to be intense scheduling, but even things such as groceries. Like I don't have to always order groceries. My daughter's old enough now where I can push her in the buggy and go out, and that really helps with our day because we're not home all day. And we get like a little outing together, and it's typically a pretty good experience. So I can do things as groceries, schedule going to the park with my daughter during the day. Walks in the morning or walks in the evening. That's still in our neighborhood, but that is a really good way for us just to get out of the house, get some fresh air, and it really does make a difference. And then lastly, while my goal is, lastly at this point, is to invite people in. Also, I know that I can invite another mama to go walk at the park, or let's go to the zoo, or let's go to this free event that I heard on the radio and get out that way as well. The fourth fear of just not being content, really the solution, and this has always been the solution, is to pray for contentness. Contentness, is that a word? To just pray to be content and pray that God would continue to mold my heart and not to focus on any of the, I'm doing all this, like just continue to be switching my thoughts to, I get to serve my family. I get to clean this in the home that we have bought. Like I get to do this. This is a blessing, and just keeping that mindset in it. And I think if I focus on that, then I really will be fine. I know I have the fears of not being content, but I truly believe you can take anything in your life and learn to be content and have joy in it. Because why? Because our identity should be in Christ. And so if my identity is in Christ and like God molding me and shaping me, then He can take me being a stay-at-home mom and take the things that I hate, cleaning, no time alone to myself, stuff like, I say hate, but that's strong, don't like at times, and He can take that and mold me to be more like Christ. And that is a blessing. That is such a blessing and a good thing, that God can use anything to His glory and for our good. And then the fifth one of me talking about not being able to achieve, really that's kind of where this YouTube comes in, and that is where my Instagram comes in. It's giving me an outlet to connect with people. And so it's giving me that social outlet, even though it's online, there's still that there. My dog is always moving the camera, hope it doesn't fall over. Okay. But it also gives me the achiever side of it, because I can see that I literally created like 20 Instagram videos this week and edited them. And I recorded 6 YouTube videos and am editing. Like, there are those small achievements that make me really proud. And then in the future, the goal is to monetize my YouTube. I'm working on selling digital products through my Instagram, and so I can make money through that too. And so that is really fueling my achiever side. That is it, y'all. I truly believe this is where the Lord has me, and while there are lots of fears, I'm really excited about all of this. I'm really excited to see how God works and just what He does with this time at my house. So while I spoke about a lot of fears, I'm also very excited to have a consistent, scheduled routine for the entire week. If you're a stay-at-home mom or wife, let me know below your thoughts on it, what you struggle with, or what is just such a blessing. I'll see you next time.